TNT.
After was it 19 years? Yeah, 19 years. Came back to, huh?
I laugh because with Sting. Okay, so when he came back to WWE, or I shouldn't say came back. When he came to WWE, he had a lot of stuff ties to crows and whatnot. With AEW, it's winter, so snow falls. It says winter is coming, and Sting's there. I don't understand why Sting is tied to either one of those things, but it is what it is.
I don't think it necessarily is tied to. I think it's something that evolves his character a little more to where it's thought of something different. And as to where, like, what can we do to separate him from what WCW did and what TNA did and what WWE did? I think it's more or less a separation and evolving of the character, even though I know you hear people say, oh, he's an old guy. Well, he is an older guy. But I just think that, instead of same old thing you've seen in the past as far as the entrance goes, I think it's something that is just different and evolved it. That's the thing. And whoever thought about the snow and the winter stuff, that's something they brainstormed, whoever did. But I think it's cool.
The only thing I really like about it is it's a relative to Game of Thrones, and so you have this idea that he might be like the Night King, which you haven't watched Game of Thrones, so you don't know what I'm referring to. But it is something that I like the relation to the Night King there.
Yeah.
So this is going to kind of jump around a little bit here. AEW this year has shown to do pandemic TV better than WWE.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that one. It was definitely more better for my eyes. I enjoyed it. That's this year the main thing WWE really had, other than Orton feud and also going to Drew McIntyre's run this year. I mean, other than that, definitely AEW had it going on, man. I was impressed by what they did. They had a few I would call tough times. They filmed from the Cody Rhodes gym, whoever gym it was. I wasn't as big a fan of the setting, but they had to do what they had to do because of the pandemic. A lot of people don't realize that there's the pandemic test. I guess across the road and whatnot, whatever I understand. But anyways, they had to change the locations for a short period of time. But definitely, AEW did some really great stuff. I was more attracted to their show. I know it was new and fresh. A lot of people would say, so of course you're gonna watch it. Let's say whatever you feel, but just by the reaction, by what they're doing, I was definitely more interested in with AEW though.
I liked how they did because MJF couldn't travel, so because he lived in, I believe MJF lives in New York, he couldn't travel down to tapings, so he would upload these videos of like, I had this severe hangnail injury, so I'm not able to wrestle. That whole thing that he did was genius.
Oh yeah,
because it helped build his heel character even more.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
because
I enjoyed it,
and because they have done so much better, with the TV, NXT has been kind of, they WWE put NXT on USA to counter program AEW, and we all know that at this point. But NXT has kind of suffered, although they did get a jump with getting Pat McAfee, which people, if you guys don't know who Pat McAfee is, he was an NFL punter for the New England Patriots. He does stand-up comedy and now is an aspiring wrestler. Yeah. He has been brought onto TV with NXT and done fairly well.
I can honestly say, people are going to be like, what? I don't know a whole lot of anything about Pat McAfee, and at the time I wasn't even much watching NXT, so I can't say really much about that situation. But if he did good, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it, yeah.
He's really good in the ring. If you want to look him up on YouTube, he has some stand-up comic stuff on YouTube that's pretty funny. It's mainly stories from the locker room.
Yeah.
Done in the form of jokes.
All right.
The things that NXT has done this year is they included Halloween Havoc. We're using old WCW names.
Absolutely. I'm glad that they brought Halloween Havoc back into the picture. It's been obviously many moons since that's been in, as a pay-per-view name, or at least on the show. So it was good to see that come back, and it did really well too.
Who's ready for NXT Nitro?
Me. They should have done a long time ago. They should have done a one-night Nitro, and hopefully they'll do something with it.
Yeah, I thought they should have done that. It's kind of like the old DCW one night stand thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so positive that WWE's done. We have Roman Reigns heel.
Finally.
Fine. Exactly. Finally.
He just fits being a heel even better. I mean, there's times where he was a face too, and pretty good too. But he just has a good heel. It's just right where it needs to be at.
The attitude fits him.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people. Probably in business mind as well. It's like, well, if we put him to a heel, I mean, so he'll get cheered when he returns face again.
That's what they did with The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been what you call a major Roman fan, but been all right to watch him. But if that's the case, they're young. They feel they need to do and go for it. But I think his heel turn was, him being heel was good, or is good. I'm sorry, not was, but is good. So I'm invested. And I'm entertained by it. So I keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's going to turn face in 2021?
Maybe, but we're probably, I think we're probably looking at maybe October.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a while if they even do it this year.
If they do it this year, I think it would be close to Survivor Series.
Yeah, I mean, see how it continues, but see how long his run lasts with Paul Heyman too. So we will see.
We'll see. Honestly, kind of like with Paul Heyman, I think he personally likes doing this project and working with Roman Reigns. He wanted to do it from the get, from what I understand. Yeah. So more power to him. Last thing with WWE, Undertaker has retired.
Thus far.
I
think he is done. I mean, I think he's talked about, the only time he'll come back is if Vince really needs him. I think he's just better off being retired. I mean, he can come back, do special appearances, just show up. But as far as being a wrestler, I think, his time is up. I mean, he's done it for so many years. He's done it for, 34 years, I'll say. Something around that ballpark.
It's up there. I want to say he started 88, but I think I'm wrong.
Well, he started before WCW. Was 88. So I'll say fair game enough. We'll say 33, 34 years. We'll say something around that ballpark. That's, but I thought he had obviously a great run, and that's saying it very mildly. Obviously, I'm saying it. I'm speaking very mildly. That's a phenomenal run. Let's just go with that pun, not intended, with saying phenomenal. So 30 some odd years, rocking a businessman. So he needs to be retired. He be home with his family, and
So here's the kicker: we were close. He began his career in '87. In 1988, he joined the Continental Wrestling Association.
Okay.
So we were very, very close.
Well, I said 33, 34 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm more impressed with the fact how close we got it.
Yeah. They started off.
Just the fact that you and I are basing this off of memory from interviews and stuff, and I happened to Google it now. I was like, oh yeah, we're very close.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that are fairly new to the business. They're thinking 30 years is how long he's been around. No, he's been around for longer than the Undertaker's character's been around.
Right. Exactly. Well, I mean, he was Mark Callis in WCW before he became the Undertaker,
and he was also Texas Red and a couple other characters before he even got to being Mark Callis.
Yeah,
but he met Paul Bearer. Ask Percy Pringle. That's what Paul Bearer was known as for a long time. I think it was during Mark's Undertaker's first match too. Was manager for him. That happened very randomly too.
Right.
But yeah, I said saying great run is obviously very mildly speaking. Dude had what I would say the greatest run there ever was. I mean, if you really look at, I mean, I know people are gonna say Austin and Rock, and they're gonna Flair and Hogan, but longevity and what he's done for the business, I don't think you can go with anybody else. Honestly, I don't see that.
Right. Hogan, I would say, probably brought in more of the mainstream. Ric Flair was probably more of the technical guy that would help, storytelling. But I think Undertaker, he was probably the most dependable person you can ever have.
By far. Oh, yeah, by far. He's loyal. He's dependable. Wasn't greedy. Yeah, I said, doing that for so many years. I mean, he had wrestled, a couple times a year. He was still around. People knew he was still going to come around. So, I mean, of course, his body has got, rough shape. But, and it comes along the business, all traveling. For him, he's talked about recently in the Brook Skull Ranch how mentally he wants to do it, but his body don't have the tools to do it anymore. So I understand that, and how many years his body took a beating, and through the tough travels, man. A lot of people don't understand how tough it is to be a wrestler. You're going through all of not only your body's taking a beating for say 20-minute match or longer, sometimes shorter, but it's also you're doing it several times a week and all that traveling. It's rough.
Mm-hmm. It is. The only other person I could think of that might be considered as loyal, if not, I'd probably say as loyal to WWE would be Triple H.
Oh yeah, he's on a different ball game, really different level.
He is.
I think better level, but
And I think he will probably definitely be one of the people that people look at, maybe 10, 15 years from now as one of the better WWE guys.
Absolutely. I mean, however you feel about the guy in whatever way, he's done a lot for the business as it is. Been around for almost 30 years almost. And as far as in the business wise, yeah, he's another guy. You look back and what he's done, in and out of the ring. So yeah, absolutely.
The other thing I wanted to mention too, this is going to wrap up how 2020 was. Pro Wrestling Tees, the website where people can buy T-shirts from AEW and other independents, including New Japan, Ring of Honor, what have you. The two shirts that have held the record this year for selling the most in 24 hours are Orange Cassidy and Brody Lee. The Exalted in Heaven Brody Lee one. Brody Lee's one crushed that record.
That's on download. That's buying it online, of course. So that's the record.
Right. It's directly from that website.
Yeah.
But that's still phenomenal.
Oh yeah. I'm not taking anything away. Just some people might be thinking of all time. No, it's just buying it online, and it's not. I mean, just buying online. It's very impressive, but I was going by that's impressive as it is. Breaking those records online to buying T-shirts, hugely impressive.
Yeah, especially given the fact that if you take into consideration, you see Bullet Club shirts almost everywhere at this point from wrestling fans, and Bullet Club and Young Bucks are the ones that are being sold through Pro Wrestling Tees and the agreement Pro Wrestling Tees has with Hot Topic.
Yeah.
So the idea that Orange Cassidy and Brody Lee crush those records is amazing.
Yeah,